single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Welcome to the Warrior Sentience Flow Warrior sequence in wind number 2. This is a continuation of wind 1, and of course to go with the wind 1 workout. So first thing we are going to do is a forward fold, halfway lift, and back into a forward fold to stretch our back out. Coming up, now we're going to crouch down really low. We are going to be in lower positions within this sequence, so it's really important that we get our legs and our back trained to be nice and straight and getting really low. Right, as you are in a crouch down position, we are going to spread our knees to open up our hips. Now, you can be on the balls of your feet or, of course, up on your toes, but you are going to feel a nice stretch within your inner thighs and hip. As well, keeping your hands at your sides as well with a nice straight back. If you have problems with a straight back, I recommend putting a stick or something into support in between your elbows so it stops you from leaning forward. All right, coming up, we're going to put our knees together and go into a forward fold, coming up to a halfway lift, and then forward folding once more. Now we're going to go pretty quickly here. Hands at your side. We are going to raise your left or right leg, depending on which side you're going for. And we're going to get low into a crouch here. Bending our backs, you're going to try to touch your outstretched leg's toe. And you can stay in this position as long as you want. However, as we come up, I want you to put your hand on your knee and we are going to bob. All right, this is going to, again, help to release some of these muscles here. Do not overexert yourself. As you're coming up, hands to your sides. And we're going to shift sides. Now, you don't have to step to the other side. If you have enough room, you can simply just continue on. And we're just going to do the other side now as well. Nice straight back and leaning over and grabbing your outstretched foot as far as you can. As you see, I can't touch my feet all the way on this side because I'm still a little tight there. But either way, do what you can. Hand on your knee and bob a little bit. Let's get that inner thigh and your hip nice and open there. Okay, now we are going to move to the other side now. We're going to stay as low as we can and kind of like a cat, like just pretend you're a jaguar or a cat, and you're going to try to stealthily move from one leg to the other, crouching as low as you can. Now we're going to do the same thing, but this time we are going to keep our back up and as straight as we can get it. Now you will have to bend a little bit, which is fair enough, but that's okay. But we are going to keep our hands at our sides and again, moving from side to side, keeping your back upright and straight, but moving as low as you can as well. Now, do not get me wrong, if that is a bit difficult, we can also put our hands on the ground. And again, as cat-like as you can, we are going to move from side to side. That's it, keeping your hands on the ground if you need to. All right. So coming up, you are going to be in a triangle pose with your legs outstretched. You're going to bend now. We are going to get your back nice and loosey-goosey. So ensure your back is nice and straight while you're doing this. And we are going to put both of our hands to one side of your leg. You can choose the left or the right. It is okay, whichever one. We're going to do both. All right, and switch sides. Remember, stay in these positions as long as you feel comfortable. But I'm moving quickly for the sake of demonstration purposes. And coming back to a nice fold. All right, upright. With your legs slightly apart, you are going to now crouch into a horse stance. Now, this is a power pose. The longer you stay in this position, the more power you are generating. All right, hands at your sides, coming back up. And that is the beginning, opening to the opening stretches, anyway, of your workout. Going into the second part of this, we are going to start some punches. So, hands at the sides. And this is what your back should look at the side as well, nice and straight. And we are going to start with placing our hands, place one hand to the left side of you. Now we are going to punch forward and block. Now we are going to do this out the side, forward but reaching your elbow to the back. And then, of course, a block to the side. So we're going to do this in numbers and switching sides as well. I'll just turn to show you here. So counting 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we are going to repeat this now, but we are going to get ready to go low once again. So if we remember our sliding crouch, all right, we're going to just take a small step to the side, get in position, hands at your sides, and get down nice and low. Okay, now again with your hands at your side, we are going to go 1, 2, 3, twist nicely there, and 4. This is going to increase your balance and strength and stability. Now we are going to switch sides once again here, sliding over to your other leg, and continuing again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alrighty, and we are now going to, of course, switch sides once more. And we're going to want to, please do this as many times as you feel comfortable. But we're going to start again. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, one more time on the other leg or on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep your back nice and straight. All right, we're going to come back up into our horse stance. Shimmy your legs inwards until you are comfortable, but you want a nice wide stance. Now I'm raising onto my tippy toes to generate a little extra power, but you can stay right down at the bottom if you like. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, and switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, excellent. Coming back up. We could take a little break there. Shake it out if you need to. Yeah, shake it out. Okay, so we're going to get our sword now, and if you don't have a sword, you're going to get a stick. And we are going to continue on with this, and I'm going to just adjust my camera here. Make sure that's all nice and invisible. Alrighty, so please, if you are using a sword and you are not comfortable with your sword yet, go slowly. But we are going to get into our number 1 stance here, and leg up and low crouch with your sword at your side. Okay, you can choose which side you want to go on. I am right-handed, so I am outstretching my left leg first. Now release your sword, bringing it up to rest on your shoulder, down, touching the tip to the ground, and then up again. As we see, this is why it's really important to stretch your back out and get these positions going there. All right, we're going to start with a few double-handed figure eights here, or infinity loops, if you'd like to call them that as well. You can do this about 5 or 6 times, or go for as many times as it feels right. Remember, this is sentience flow, and it's all about feeling. Sword again firmly at your side, and we are now going to be transferring our sword behind our back. Okay, really pay attention to the way or the direction as to where my tip of my sword is going. It is a little difficult to explain, so please watch intently. See how I grabbed my sword again. This time it is a single-handed figure 8 that we are going to be doing, or infinity loop. This is sending our power out into the universe, ensuring that we are feeling good. Now transferring our sword behind our back again, we are going to do a slice upwards. All right, this is a slice upwards to our right. Another transfer behind our back, and we are going to do a slice upwards towards our left. All right, transfer behind the back. We're going to go around our head. You can, as you could tell, this is from sequence number 1, but we are just adapting it to be lower to the ground as well. So now a nice block to our right, and again, transferring our sword behind us and a block to our left. Okay, if you are using a real sword, mine is a training sword, so it is very light, and it is of course wood as well. If you are using a real sword, please be careful that you do not cut yourself. All right, within the sheath position, we are going to of course outstretch our sword to the right, coming back in and stretching it out forward. Directly in front of us, and then of course a nice sheath as we finish. Bringing your leg back in, and we are going to come up, and that is you all done. There you are. I hope you enjoyed that lesson. I'm back inside right now. For that last sequence, you can switch sides. However, if you are right-handed like I am, you may need a little bit more practice with the left, and I still do need a little bit of practice with the left. So we're just going to keep it at that for today's lesson anyway. Now, what I want you to really, really remember is that if you are using a real sword, I'm using a training sword, so that means I can go and go a little bit faster and do a lot of things with a little bit more flow and a little bit more ease. I do, of course, use my real sword, but that is more so when I'm doing strength training as well, so I can get used to the weight. If you find that the weight of a real sword, whether that be a samurai sword or otherwise, is too much for you to be able to do the flow and the sequence right, or be able to feel your sentience flow correctly, then please do switch to something lighter. The whole point of sentience flow is not necessarily to learn combat or to use this skill for harm. It is all to do with energy and the ethereal. So at the end of the day, when you are using a sword, you are slicing energy. All right. You are cutting negative cords. You are increasing your own energy. But that doesn't mean that you need to use a real sword here, because you're not physically cutting anything besides air in the material. It's all in the ethereal. So please use the tool or the sword that is suitable for you. If you do not have a sword or a training sword, use a stick. That'll be absolutely fine too. Also, just please remember to stretch appropriately, and this sequence is a continuation on of the wind sequence 1. So if you can combine these workouts together, and slowly we will add them on. There is actually 999 sequences within the wind series. And you know, when you really get good at it, you kind of can do them all in one go. For the next, of course, week or sequence that we show you, just the more you practice it, the more you gain your speed. And as you get faster, you can put everything together, and it looks like a very beautiful dance. And I will be demonstrating that for you as well, come the next lessons or weeks end, so you can see what it all looks like together. And we'll put a little soundtrack music on there, so everything flows that much better. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed it. Please go at your own pace. I know I went quickly through some of these moves, but if you have to slow it right down, pause the video, get your stance right, make sure your sword is, in alignment and so forth. You're not too far up, you're not too far down, things like that, then please do so. And remember, feel your own body. As you are doing this, your body is regaining its own muscle memory to what was happening in that you do remember through your energy. And with that being said, try your own sentience flow. When you get into the stance, when you get into the zone, and when you are holding your sword or your spear or whatever weaponry you are using, I want you to just feel where your body's going and allow it to flow with you. And just remember as well, you do not always have to do the same thing on each side. Your body is finding balance, right? That doesn't mean that you do the exact same position on each side, because your left side may be weaker than your right side, or your right side may be weaker than your left side. So with that being said, just follow your body, follow your instincts, follow your own flow as well. All right. Bye, sweetie.